Hello, and thank you for tuning in to My Nerdy Buddy IT. Be sure to check out our website at www.mynerdybuddy.com, where we upload videos every week under the free computer lessons section. But let's get started. So one of the main questions I always get is, what type of computer should I buy? Where should I buy it from? And what's the difference between an inexpensive laptop and an expensive laptop? It's kind of a lot of information to cover, and I've covered it somewhat in a previous video, but let's go ahead and get started anyway. So let's go to everybody's favorite general store, and that is Walmart. So you can actually go into Walmart store or go into Walmart's website, but I'm going to be using websites just to give you an example of what's out there. So if you go to the electronics section and click on laptops, you're going to be greeted with a list of options. So immediately here, most people, if you're budget conscious, like I am, you're going to be drawn to these laptops that's in the $200 price range. And I'm going to go ahead and start talking about price ranges in general, just to kind of speed things along. In my professional experience, if you purchase a laptop that costs less than $400 and you're going to be using it heavily, you need to go ahead and probably reevaluate that thought. But if that is your budget, just your budget wall, and you can't get past that price point, say for example this Dell Inspiron right here for $229, there's a couple of things you need to take note of. Generally, computers below a certain price threshold are more of tablets than computers, and let me explain. This is a lower end processor. The amount of memory here is very low, so you're not going to be able to have multiple applications running at the same time. And this is the hard drive size, 32 gigabytes. That's what 32 GB stands for. Now, to put that into perspective, the computer that I'm filming this on has 256 gigabytes, which is kind of smallish for today's standard. So this is only good for, I'd say, a child in maybe elementary school, or you just need something to edit documents in the cloud with. It's not really going to be a workhorse laptop. It's a great laptop, but you're not going to be able to get much done with it. So stepping up to the more expensive laptops, you have what you call probably the workhorse laptops. I'm going to click on the all laptops section here to try to get us where we need to be. So starting in the $400 price range is pretty much where most people need to be, especially if you're going to keep the device more than 2 years. Getting into this price range, you usually get a larger screen, a much better processor. And you see here, this is probably the minimum amount of memory that I would go for. And you can check out my other videos here, and it'll actually explain what you need to look for when you're purchasing a laptop in general. And this hard drive is perfect. Even for someone who loves media, that means listening to music, downloading music, streaming video, downloading video, this hard drive is probably the perfect size. The price is $429. Now, let's get into the differences between where to buy the laptops from. Walmart is probably going to be your quick and easy place to walk in. Sometimes they have laptops on display that you can play with before you purchase. But in general, it's, if you know what you need and you don't have a lot of time, run into Walmart. pick up the laptop, go home. Also, Walmart does have a protection care plan that's pretty generous. So I would pick that up as well, especially when purchasing a mobile computing device such as a laptop. Amazon.com, my favorite store. So when you purchase a laptop from, or anything from Amazon, you get a lot of things to compare. So because I'm a computer nerd, I'm more into the more high-end laptops. So this right here may startle some people, this price range here, but once you get into this price range, you're probably going to be into the more quality devices here. But purchasing from Amazon allows you to read customer reviews. These are very, very helpful. I tend to, when I purchase something from Amazon, try to look at the devices or items that have 4 stars and up, and look at the amount of ratings you have. If there are not that many ratings, I try to scroll past those items, at least get to something that has more ratings and read the reviews. Amazon's also excellent with their customer service. So if you were to purchase something from Amazon and you contact them through their help page, they're very helpful. Now, the response may not be instant, but they're really good about taking care of the customer. Now, getting back into the brick and mortar type of things, Best Buy. I love Best Buy because if you really aren't sure what you're looking for, you can walk into a Best Buy, speak with one of their technicians or service people, and for the most part, they're not trained fully in the devices that they're probably going to be selling you, but at least they can walk you through some of the basic questions. So if you have questions about the device you're going to purchase, you're more of a hands-on type of person, Best Buy is the place to go. And the neat thing about Best Buy is they do price match. So if you see the device here, the laptop that you want to purchase from Best Buy, somewhere else like Amazon.com or at Walmart, you can price match it right at the register. Now, the other beautiful thing about Best Buy is they also have a miniature Mac store in most Best Buys. But I would steer clear from a Mac unless you just know exactly what you're doing. Macs are high quality machines, excellent for video editing, music editing, and the only thing I can really say about a Mac is don't purchase a Mac unless you know what you're doing. If you're really used to a Windows computer, stick to computers that have Windows operating system. Finally, one thing I want to mention as I recap everything, most newer laptops do not come with a CD-ROM drive anymore. You actually have to purchase what's called a USB CD-ROM drive, and I'm going to go ahead and pull one up on Best Buy's website. And they're quite inexpensive, so don't, go for something super high end, but here are 2 examples here. When picking one of these, I would just go with one with good reviews, and these 2 have great reviews. So let's recap. When purchasing a laptop, anything that costs below $400 is probably not going to serve you that well. So I would steer clear away from that. Secondly, once you get into the $400 price range, generally you're at that sweet spot. If you need to know specifically what you need to purchase, there's another video, like I said, that I've done on this. But just to give you a rundown on that, you need to purchase the most RAM you can afford. So if you got a pen right now and you're purchasing a laptop for a loved one this fall or for yourself, what you want to purchase is the most RAM you can afford. So and 8 gigabytes is probably the least I would go for. You want a hard drive that's 500 gigabytes or larger. If it's 1 terabyte or larger, that's even better. So armed with those 2 bits of information, the most RAM and the largest hard drive that you can afford, you're gonna do great. Another thing is, when you purchase a laptop, you're gonna want Microsoft Office. I highly suggest that if you are not that tech savvy, for you to purchase the version of Microsoft Office that loads onto your computer directly. There is another version called Office 365. Great program, but if you're not technically inclined, I would leave that for later. So, thank you for tuning in to My Nerdy Buddy IT, where we've just covered purchasing a inexpensive laptop versus the laptop you really need. Tune in to our website under the free computer lessons section, where I post new videos weekly. Thank you for your time and have a great day.